Bragg.
Thank you very much, President. Yeah, I'm sorry that my questions aren't going to be as funny as Senator Farrell's answers, but we'll certainly make a go of it. So my question is to the Minister representing the Prime Minister, Senator Wong. 4 weeks ago, I asked you how many houses had been completed by the Housing Australia Future Fund. You said at the time that you would find the information out and you would report back to the Senate. Can you please now advise how many houses have been completed?
Thank you, Senator Bragg. Minister Wong.
Thank you, President, and I'm very grateful. Sorry? Well, many houses have been completed. That's a very good answer, Senator Scott, and I thank you very much for that. But Senator Bragg, I would go through a few of the figures. As you know, we are getting on with the job of delivering 55,000 social and affordable homes. I am advised that over 28,000 are in planning and construction, 18,000 of those through the HAF and National Housing Accord facility, and 10,000 through other programs. I would make the point, Senator, that you seem very interested in tracking the progress of a fund that you opposed and you were going to scrap.
Minister Wong, please resume your seat. Minister Wong, please resume your seat. Senator Bragg.
I'm sorry to trouble you, but it is a point of order because it's a point of order on relevance. The question was quite clear about it being on the number of houses that have been completed. No, just so in case you didn't hear, it's about the number of houses completed.
I think the Minister is being relevant to the question, Senator Bragg. Minister Wong, please continue.
Well, I outlined in my first response the answer that I was giving Senator Bragg. But, Senator, you can't get away from your position to oppose the HAF, to oppose any houses being built by saying, oh, it's not relevant to my question. I think it's pretty relevant to the Australian people, don't you? I reckon the Australian people, those who are concerned about housing affordability, might think that the housing spokesperson's position, which is to oppose any houses being built under the HAF, is relevant to a question on housing. This is your problem, Senator Bragg. Your party opposes governments engaging in the housing sector in order to increase supply. We believe that supply is a part of how
Order. Senator. Thank you. Senator Bragg.
I'm sorry, but it's a point of order on relevance. We just wanted to know the number of houses completed, please.
That's it.
The Minister has started her response and given you a host of numbers, Senator Bragg. So, Minister.
Thank you, President. I would invite the Leader in the Senate perhaps to behave appropriately towards you. Senator, what I would say to you is, as I said, we have 18,000 homes through the HAF and the National Housing Accord facility, over 28,000 social and affordable housing and planning. And if you'd like to ask me which houses you're opposing, I'm very happy to go through a list of
Thank you, Minister. The time for answering has expired. Senator Bragg, first supplementary.
Thank you, President. So the question is, how many houses have been completed, Minister Wong? That's the question.
That's your supplementary? Yes. No, I'm just checking. It's okay. Minister Wong.
Again, what I would say is 28,000 social and affordable homes are in planning and construction, and the number of houses that we have is way more than would ever have been built under you. We have three at once.
Minister Wong. Order. I'm waiting for silence. Senator Cash.
Thank you. Point of order in relation to direct relevance. I know the Minister has probably acknowledged the question, so maybe that falls into direct relevance, but it was pretty clear, a pretty direct question, how many have been completed? And if the Minister doesn't know after 4 weeks, she should just say so.
You know the number.
Thank you. Thank you, Senator Cash. Order. Order. Order across the chamber. Minister Wong, I will bring you back to the question.
Thank you, President. Well, I will give the opposition a number, and it's 80,000, the number of homes you're opposing with your disallowance.
Order. Senator Bragg, second supplementary.
Well, we'll take it from that you don't know the answer. So there was an answer given.
Just a moment, Senator
There wasn't-
Bragg. Order. Senator Henderson, which part of order doesn't apply to you? Senator Bragg.
Okay, thank you. So the Housing Minister, Ms O'Neill, has in the recent past said to the ABC that they have had, in fact, completed more than 2,000 homes. So is that number correct? And of those 2,000, how many were built by the HAF and how many were acquired?
Thank you, Senator Bragg. Minister Wong.
Well, Senator, I have in front of me the
Order. Order. Senator Patterson again, which part of order doesn't apply to you? Minister Wong.
I'm sorry, what I was actually going to say, Senator Bragg, the interview to which you were referring. I'm sure that Ms O'Neill was correct. She's a very competent minister and very energetic. And what I would say to you, Senator, is that you can persist in asking questions about a fund you oppose. Yep. So can everyone just understand that you know, the number of homes to be built if Senator Bragg was in Claire O'Neill's job? Zero. That is the number of homes that would be built were you in the housing portfolio. So Senator Bragg, it is disappointing that we see the coalition not having listened to the Australian people and continuing to take a position which is against houses being built. Why is it that your first housing policy of this term is to block 80,000 homes?
The most important thing that just happened in that entire exchange was not what was said, it's what was never answered. A simple question, clear, direct, repeated multiple times. How many houses have actually been completed? Not planned, not announced, not in progress. Completed. Homes that real people can walk into. Homes that actually exist. And after 4 weeks, they still couldn't give a number. Think about that for a second. 4 weeks ago, the exact same question was asked, a very basic accountability question. And the answer given at that time was, "We'll get back to you." 4 weeks later, they came back with the same thing. Not a number, not clarity, not transparency, just more talking points. 28,000 homes in planning, 18,000 under one program, 10,000 under another, 55,000 promised in total. Numbers, numbers, numbers. But none of them answer the actual question, because the moment the question shifts from future promises to present reality, everything changes. And you saw that shift happen in real time. The question gets asked, they pivot. The question gets repeated, they deflect. The question gets pressed again, they attack the opposition. Suddenly, it's not about houses anymore, it's about politics. It's about blame. It's about what the other side would have done. Anything. Except the actual answer. And that's not accidental. That is a pattern. Because when a government is confident in its results, it gives you the number immediately. Simple question, simple answer. But when the answer is uncomfortable, that's when you get speeches instead of numbers. That's when you get narratives instead of facts. And that's exactly what happened here. They talked about supply, they talked about affordability, they talked about opposition policies. They even threw out a completely different number, 80,000 homes being blocked. But they never answered the one thing people actually care about. How many homes are done? Not in the future, not on paper, not in announcements. Right now, because for people struggling with housing, for families waiting, for individuals who can't afford rent, planning doesn't help them. Construction doesn't help them. Only completed homes do. And if after weeks of preparation, in the middle of a housing crisis, a government still cannot say that number clearly, then that tells you everything. This wasn't confusion. This wasn't a misunderstanding of the question. The question was repeated again and again and again, and each time the answer moved further away. That is not lack of information. That is avoidance, deliberate, calculated, clear. Because the reality is, numbers expose performance, and performance is exactly what they didn't want to talk about. So instead, they changed the conversation from results to intentions, from outcomes to arguments, from accountability to politics. And in doing so, they revealed the real issue, because when a simple number becomes impossible to say, it usually means that number doesn't support the story being told. And that's the moment everything becomes clear. This was never about answering the question. It was about avoiding it. That's not transparency. That's not leadership. That's deflection. And that is the whole story. Now tell me in the comments, after watching all of that, do you think they actually know the number?